Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio in Bethel Park. Thank you for watching us tonight. Chip Hayner's not going to be with us, but I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier, a.k.a. Stevie Wonder, is in the house with me. Or he thinks he looks like Muhammad Ali, but we're not going to argue. So we'll see what happens as soon as we're talking. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7 only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry and Wexford.
Your mic's not on.
Oh, whoa. Whoa. What the heck happened?
Rookie mistake.
My mic isn't on. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching us.
I can hear you better now.
We appreciate it. We'll have to try to get this thing going here. Welcome to another live edition of Bethel Park TV, Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park, Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, and in the surrounding Pittsburgh areas from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all the points in between. We appreciate you watching us each night on Tuesday night when we're live, and we're on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And guess what, Smoking Jim? Johnny Mariano told me the other day when I saw him, he goes, I got up at 3 in the morning, put the TV on, and I saw you guys on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
My man.
3 in the morning we were on, so we're around a lot of times. Thanks for all the likes on Facebook. 6,874. That's a brand new high. We appreciate that. Before I was mic'd up, Chip Hayner will not be here. He's eating lobster up in Maine, having a little vacation with his beautiful wife. And I'm here, Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier's right with me. And we got sports to talk about. I got some promos to put up there right now. First off, we'll see if my camera guy got this right. Look at that.
That's
Steve
perfect.
Fisher's right here on the money. Jack's back from his volleyball and his school year's over. It was last day of school today. So Jack is back with us. Olive Oil's Pizzeria sponsors us with an XL Pizza, steak hoagie. You can call them 412-831-1900. Right at Hillcrest. If you're driving by, you miss it, just look left or look right if you're going down the hill, up the hill left. You'll see Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Great pizzas, great pasta, you name it, they'll feed you. And they got great prices too. Check them out. 412-831-1900. Next up, Bethel Park Historical Society, Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. They rent out some of the places. They have activities. One of my new favorite places is Reginald's Coffee. They have a coffee roaster there. They say the coffee's delicious. As most of you know, I'm a green tea guy. And the green tea, they have loose leaf green tea. I had Dragonwell, a pot of it. It was delicious the last time I was there. Check them out. I think their hours are like around 7 to 2 each day. And they're just great. Matt and Julie are fantastic. They opened this business, and it's really nice right in the Arts Schoolhouse History Center. So check it out. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Joey Fabus died before his 9th birthday with brain cancer, DIPG. His family, they're an inspiration to me. They Stay Joey Strong, the Childhood Cancer Foundation. They've raised over $100,000 to find a cure or find DIPG and maybe how to cure it or stop it. and treat it. So, because it's a death sentence for these poor kids. Once they're diagnosed, they're dead within a year, and it's sad. And they're a 501c3. Another 501c3 is Bethel Park Community Foundation. They have money for you and your group in Bethel Park. From $100 to $5,000, go to bpcf.org. Get an application. I'm one of the trustees on the board. Come on out, meet with us every couple months. We have a meeting and approve money. Last year we paid out over $100,000, and we're going to do it again this year. So check it out. We fund a lot of great people in Bethel Park and projects. Next up, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. There I am, the face of Uncle Sam, but this is Uncle Al from Pittsburgh Sportsline. I want you for BPTV. You could be like young Jack. You could be like Steve Fisher here. You can run the cameras, the audio, make sure we look good on TV and the different segments we have. You can do that. Call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable you want to be a volunteer and help out on location, in the studio, wherever you can, and it may help you in a career down the road. You never know. We've had a lot of people that work in the industry that have started out at BPTV, so it's a great foundation for you to do that. So that's what I have. Again, 412-831-3304. Dave Cable, I want to be a volunteer. All right. I have another sponsor, Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. He sponsors What's on Your Mind. He has a red, white, and blue station past Trax Farm, past the Dairy Queen. Mineral Beach is sold, so the beach isn't open, but there's a tiki bar there that I've been to, and it's great. And right down the road is Skeets Service Station. Anything and everything, they work on gas. You name it. Smoking Jim's car, my car, trucks, boats, weed whackers, lawnmowers, you name it. Give Skeets a call, 724-348-4715. Give him a call. I know you can't see well, but remember that number, Smoking Jim. And they have a little buffet every Monday. They get donuts from Bethel Bakery. A guy named Al brings them in, and every once in a while I stop out there, and I'd rather travel 7 miles to Skeets Service Station from my house than 1.5 miles to Bethel Bakery. That's how smart I am. But it's a great conversation. We talk about everything from A to Z, and they just have a great time out there. And they have a forge, they have a milling station, they have a Pittsburgh drive shaft. They just bought the rights to that. They make drive shafts for any type of vehicle. I don't understand it, but they make it, and I saw their things that they use to make them. It's unbelievable what they can do. If you need a new drive shaft, Pittsburgh drive shaft at Skeets Service Station. They got it all. Let's start this show. Come on. All right, we're going to be without Chip Hayner, eating all that lobster. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Here, coming at you.
you got the C, Levine.
Those new eyes are great.
And I tell you what, brother, you failed to mention one thing.
What?
How about the lead program Judge Arnone has? And we got the coupons for Dunkin' Donuts.
Hold it. I could show one.
That's it. Look
What do we get? One donut. You can't beat that
and
from
I
the
went
judge.
to Dunkin' Donuts here in Bethel Park, walked in there. They were all out of glaze, but
Yeah.
I did get some kind of maple on top.
Wow,
They said-
maple
They
glaze.
said, "Would you like anything else?" No, thank you. But I enjoy my one donut, and I tell you what, I gave a coupon to Steve. I kept 4, gave one to Steve.
Did you?
So if he don't need it, tell him give it back, man. I'll be out there. I'm gonna go out there once a week.
Oh, Steve's right back there. Talk to him.
Every Tuesday, I'll be out there.
Get on.
Give me one.
Thank you, Judge Arnone.
That's a great program. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine. We had a upset in boxing over the weekend, and it got me to thinking about something Evander Holyfield once said. He said, any man over 200 pounds can knock you out. So I just wanted to go over some of the bigger upsets in boxing history. I think one of the biggest was, people forget how great Joe Louis was. Joe Louis.
I don't forget.
He was the Brown Bomber.
Yeah.
He held the championship for 140 consecutive months, 26 championship fights.
How many years is that?
I'm not sure. I gotta get Steve Fisher, the Rookie of the Year. He's a math guy.
Divide 52 into that.
Wow, that's a lot.
Not quite 3 years. Not quite 3 years.
It's longer than that.
140 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. 12 years.
Yeah, heck yeah. So, yeah, I was good. I was quick on that.
Yeah, you were good.
But I tell you what, I just knew a little bit about Joe's history. I knew he had the title at least.
Well, you
10
knew
years.
him as the Brown Bomber because you never bring up race, so I understand that.
66-3 with 52 KOs. But I tell you what, I think one of the biggest upsets ever was when Max Schmeling beat him, who was
Who is he?
A German guy in 1936. That's back when Adolf Hitler, and that was huge, man. A lot of black people, Joe Louis was their heroes. They committed suicide after that. They kind of gave up hope, but Joe Louis came back and destroyed Max Schmeling in one round. How about Lennox Lewis? Great champion, undefeated. Ended up getting knocked out in 1994 by Oliver McCall.
Who was he?
Yep, came back and avenged that loss. Then he got knocked out by Hussein Rockman.
Who's he?
Ended up coming back. And how about Antonio Tarver knocking out our guy, undefeated Roy Jones Jr.
Wow.
The only guy to go from middleweight all the way to heavyweight champion of the world. And that leads me to the Anthony Joshua, who I'm very high on.
Yeah.
Undefeated guy, was holding 4 championship belts, including an Olympic gold medal.
How much did you lose on him?
Well, you know what? I would have lost a ton of money if I could have got down to the casino, but we was in Moundsville. I'd have put some money on it. But
I knew you'd make an excuse for that.
But he ended up getting beat by a guy they call Andy the Destroyer Ruiz. And I tell you what, man, he's the first ever Mexican heavyweight champion. He's 6'2", 270. And you really don't see Mexicans at 270 pounds. So I had to do a little research because you can't get that big just on refried beans, brother.
No.
No. And I tell you what, here's a guy, how you call him Mexican when he was born in California? His parents were both migrated here from Mexico, but he was born in California, so I don't agree with that. He was able to fight for Mexico in the Olympics because both of his parents was born in Mexico. That's a little loophole.
But Smoking Jim, you followed basketball, haven't you?
Yeah.
In the Olympics, do you ever notice NBA guys are playing for different countries?
Because they're from that country.
No.
He's from America. He's
Sometimes
from California.
their parents are born there and they go there anyhow. They stretch
What a
it.
loophole, man. Let's
In
close
basketball.
Let's close them loopholes up. But I tell you what, this is a guy, he didn't come out of nowhere. He's 33-1 with 22 KOs.
How old is he?
He's 29 years old. Him and Anthony Joshua is the same age, but his amateur record, he was 105-5. He doesn't look the part. He looked like a Mexican Butterbean.
Yeah.
Who's a friend of mine.
I know.
And,
you and Butterbean go way back.
Me and Butterbean goes back the last few years. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the rematch, and I'm looking for Anthony Joshua to regain his title. But this was a great thing for boxing because now it gets everybody talking about it. These guys can't wait on the big payday because that's out of the window now. So they got to work their way back up and fight good. Maybe we'll see a couple of these guys at the Steel Cactus, one near you. And that's what's on my mind.
Thanks, Smoking Jim. I don't know how I'll get there.
Mike Tyson got here, so they can get here, right?
I guess.
Roy Jones
I don't know
got
where
here.
you're going. Thanks for wearing green. We got the green team tonight. Very good.
I got the memo.
I didn't send it. I know you can't see that well, so I don't want to test you. All right. What's on my mind is, I said this last night, but it's still on my mind. Josh Bell with the Buccos. Batted .390, hit a record-tying 12 home runs, 12 doubles, had 94 bases, which tied like Ty Cobb and a couple other guys. That's the only ones that have ever done it. Then he got Player of the Month. When do you hear a Bucco? Because Smoking Jim's so disrespectful. These Buccos, he likes going to games and getting the free tickets, but he don't think they can win. Here's Josh Bell playing his heart out. Worked hard in the offseason trying to improve his fielding skills and his throwing skills and his batting skills. No, that's not good. He would have missed the ball. Sometimes it goes low, high, over your head, underneath, wherever, all around. But what a month Josh Bell had. It's a pleasure watching him. And he has one of the highest velocities of hitting the ball off the bat. Wow. So it's like a rocket when he's hitting it. So he's doing something right. And I know he just went 1 for 10 in his last game or two. But so what? .390 in the month of May. That's just awesome. What a performance. I hope he can keep it up as well as he did the first couple months of the season, because they need the help. And we'll talk Buccos at the end of the night, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk some fiction and fact with Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
One of the things we do at BPTV is encourage our producers to film on location. Not only does shooting on location give our producers the opportunity to take advantage of their subject matter, filming in different locations gives each program its own distinct flavor. This also helps anyone who's flipping through the channels avoid confusion when they turn on BPTV. With around 500 programs produced at BPTV each year, the last thing we want people to think is that we're only broadcasting one program. So, you need to come into BPTV to pitch your TV show, but in terms of where you actually end up taping your show, the sky's the limit.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. My main man, Jack, congratulations on the winning season in volleyball.
Yeah,
And,
for Bethel Park.
And the Rookie of the Year, Steve Fisher. But I tell you what, I'm going to just, if it's okay, I'm going to take an extra couple seconds because during the break, I tell you what, sometimes a show during the break is just as good as a regular show. Everybody jumped on me for my favorite sport, WWE wrestling.
Oh,
I think it's real, and here's how real it is. There used to be a wrestler named Ivan Putski. Remember him? The Polish Power.
yeah.
And a buddy of mine who played linebacker, they came to our school, and they're having a wrestling match.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine decided to get into the ring.
Good.
And he was a tough linebacker.
Yeah.
And Ivan Putski hit him with that Polish Power, brother. And after that, him and I both know it's live. But hey, I digress a little bit again. I feel bad for he's getting the MRI as we speak. Injury to Andrew McCutcheon. I understand he was doing pretty good for the Phillies.
I don't know.
And that's from what I understand.
I thought he was hitting around 250.
I'm not sure. I heard he was doing good, but you got the hustle in baseball. Chipper talks about that all the time. You talk about it, Al Levine, the talking machine, and of course, I'm from Monroeville, where nobody loafs.
Why is that?
But we got a tailgate. Gateway's coming to Bethel this year. We got a tailgate.
No way. I can't wait. I'll come just to hear the stories about you.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll say, what year was that? And they'll all be like this.
We usually take over the stadium, so
That
you
ain't-
guys are all invited to sit with me. Jack, Little Z,
That isn't
Rookie
happening.
of the Year.
What year?
But,
Zip.
but here's the thing with Andrew McCutchen. He's
Yeah.
on first base.
Yeah.
A guy hits a pop-up, decides not to run it out. Andrew McCutchen's on his way to second. The second baseman is smart. He lets it drop. Throws the guy out at first, gets Andrew McCutchen in a rundown,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
if he and you don't win in no rundown, man.
No, it's usually a loser.
Yeah, so he ended up hurting his knee
Yeah.
in that rundown. And so, hey, people out there watching, if you play baseball, I played all the way up through Pony League.
There's no verification of that.
Run out.
We
hey,
haven't verified it.
be like Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle. Run it out, man. You end up injuring your teammates. But here's something. Here's a question everybody remembers. I bet you remember. Where were you when Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, which I believe is the biggest upset in boxing history? Where were you? You remember? Everybody remembers where they were that day.
I didn't see the fight.
But I mean, where were you though?
I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
But do you know what you were doing, or you remember when
No.
it happened?
I remember reading about it the next day and hearing it on the news.
There you go. So you're one of the few. I remember where I was that weekend. A group of me and my buddies was on our way to Chocolate City, Washington, D.C. for the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was
Is
dating.
that a racial reference?
There you go. And the girl.
Because I thought Hershey's chocolate.
There you go. And the girl that I was dating at the time, she had a little Creole in her, because I believe she used to. I believe she used to be able to antidote my food a little bit. But I'm going away with some guys who were true players. And she.
Where is this even going?
And she never batted an eye, brother. I thought I'd have to stretch the truth a little bit to get out of the house. She didn't mind. Never forget. I don't know what made us get off. We got on the turnpike in Monroeville,
You probably got lost.
and for some reason we got off in Irwin instead of going to Breezewood
That's
like we
crazy.
normally do, because we had a taste for Dairy Queen.
Wow.
We get off in Irwin, we go to the Dairy Queen, Elle Levine, the talking machine, this Creole woman that I was dating. I got so sick. This is Friday night. We're staying there till Tuesday morning, brother.
Wow.
Brother, we drive all the way down there, and we get down there, and I'm in the I didn't take my car, one of them, but we in 3 car loads. All players, brother. Man, we get to D.C., man, I'm sick as a dog.
Wow.
We go to the nightclub, I'm sick as a dog. Hell, I'm so sick.
You still went out.
Still went out. Got back
You're a
to
trooper.
the room,
You're a good trooper.
4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
You should have
man.
called her.
7 o'clock.
Take
in
me
the-
out of the freezer. That
Man.
doll she had of you,
I should
she's
have.
stabbing it in the
I
freezer.
should have.
She's putting it in the freezer. You were probably
You
feeling
know
cold.
Creole?
Yeah, that's what
Man,
she did.
I'll tell you.
She stabbed it right in your stomach.
Man, I tell you what, Elle Levine, the talking machine. I tell my buddy who was driving,
Yeah.
we'd already paid for the room for 4 or 5 days. I
Wow.
told him, I got up.
Go.
I said, I'm sick. Now, most people, when they're sick, they go to the hospital, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm throwing up all over the place,
Yeah.
right? They got people to clean that up.
Yeah.
They got maids, sir. I ain't at home. I ain't have to make it to the bathroom, bro. I'm sick as a dog. I tell my buddy, not to take me to the hospital.
Yeah.
Drive me back to Pittsburgh, brother.
Nah.
That's how sick I was.
Wow.
Elle Levine, the talking machine. When I got back to Pittsburgh,
You're healed.
it was almost time for the Mike Tyson fight. For some reason, it was on regular TV, wasn't on pay-per-view.
Oh, get on.
El Levine the Tonka machine. I laid my head on my girlfriend's lap and never
fell
felt
asleep.
better. Never felt better. I watched the fight. I tell you what, that's how good she was. Man, I laid my head on her lap, watched the Tyson fight, and man, watched Mike Tyson take a beating.
Wow.
You know, for 10
But how was your
rounds.
tummy?
I never felt better. Wasn't
Healed.
sick. Soon as I laid my head on her lap, brother, I was good, man. I never went away with the boys again. That was one of them. My buddy was so mad because they were looking forward. The D.C. was the place to go, man.
Yeah, was it?
And wasn't for him because he had to bring me back to Pittsburgh. But anyway, I watched Mike Tyson. That's where I was. That's what
Wow.
happened.
What year was
When
that?
Buster Douglas,
What years?
1990, when Buster Douglas knocked out Iron Mike Tyson, in my opinion, the biggest upset in the history of boxing. And I tell you what, I remember exactly where I was.
Wow.
El Levine, the talking machine.
I got a Buster Douglas story for you
I can't
about
wait.
me.
I can't wait.
All right, Buster Douglas won. Well, I'm running for an office in the union called chairman. It's the steward, chief steward of the union, and it was on the February 13th, 1990. I was going up against a guy who had been the chairman for like 10, 12 years,
Wow.
and guys wanted to push me and get him out because we had been laid off. We came back to work. I said, I'll run. So I run against them, and I became the Buster Douglas of my union and won the election on February 13th, 1990.
So Buster inspired you. You said, if Buster could do it, I can do it.
No, I never even thought about Buster.
Wow.
I just said I could do it.
Here's an amazing story, different, a Dr. Martin Luther King story. My dad started off in the steel mill, and at that time, blacks in the steel mill were, if you got in, you're a janitor. So
Yeah.
my dad was a janitor. And there was no blacks that was working the regular steel mill.
Yeah.
And Dr. Martin Luther King said, hey, if you don't try, you'll never know. So my dad applied, got hired, worked 42 years at a steel
Wow.
mill, at the top of his position before he left there, and was done. And my dad ended up being a booster president of the Gateway football team. We had a lot of extra money then.
Nice.
Took a lot of good vacations, brother.
I don't
They
know.
still looking for that money.
I don't know what you had, but this truth
Bought him a
serum
nice Cadillac on that.
must have been a strong booster club. I'm sure your dad did a lot of good things for the booster program.
Yeah, a lot. Brought a lot of steaks in the house then, brother.
Really? Wow.
Woo, we were eating good.
Folks, I only told my one little story. I didn't know we'd get this true confessions. Let's go on more. What's next? What year was that? All right, thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier. On location. Well, we had a new location right here in Bethel Park last night. Steel Cactus, what a nice place. Tex-Mex food. I had a quesadilla that was delicious. Smoking Jim didn't eat because he didn't know if we get comped or not. We're still working that out, but you know, he had some nice water, so he was good. But thanks to Judge Arnone for getting our foot in the door. Had a nice crowd of almost 30 people there. They couldn't hear us except for Smoking Jim because we had no PA system. We thought they had one. They didn't, but we'll have to see about a PA next time. But it was a great show. Had great guests. Of course, Judge Arnone was there telling us about his Our Lead program that he does with a young man named Brad. They work together, go to schools, have a little talk, you know, try to keep these kids off of drugs and bad things and, you know, watch the social media stuff. So they try to tone that down and do a lot of great things in the communities. And they got great sponsors. He named about a dozen of them. I didn't take notes, but they're powerful. So they're sponsored by a lot of big companies, and that helps keep these kids safe and on the right track, and that's what they're doing. So that was great. Then Frank Velasquez with AHN Sports and Medicine. He's helping a lot of boxers and athletes that we know, and he's helping a lady run 28 miles a day for like 3 days. She has this program she's doing. They're keeping her in shape and recovering with her, and he just does all these great things. Check it out at Cool Springs, AHN. If you need any help, they have the people that can help keep you in shape as we all get older. They'll work on those knees, backs, even your head, like Smoking Jim Frazier. They'll help you out. But Frank's a good guy. It's been a couple years since we had him on. Always an interesting guy. And then we went to boxing. We'll talk about it a little later, but we went to Western Penitentiary, or Moundsville Penitentiary. It's an old historic prison that's haunted. We even saw the steps where they go up and were hanging people, so it's an interesting place. But 13 great fights. What a night of fights. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we got the promoters, Jim Frio and Tommy Wilson. They set this stuff up, and they're first class. They invite us, they love us and what we do. It's the first time we ever had them on our show. Jim Frio's an auctioneer guy. We gave a little bit of his auctioneer voice. He said, I got to stop after a little bit, but he was good. And they get all these fighters together. They had MMA and they had boxing. The MMA fights were some of the greatest fights that we saw with the action in there. And the boxing, Sweet Child Conway, Matt, won another fight, 17-0 he is. Just a great young man and a great fighter. What a great family he has, from his dad to his brothers. And they were on, and Tommy Wilson found out a little bit more about him with what he does, and he helps put it all together for Jim, and knows a lot of the boxers and MMA guys too. So very informative. On location next week, Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Monday night, 7:30 to 8:30. Attila Domos, paraplegic hand cyclist that's going for the world record in September. 24-hour world record. He already has it at 407 miles. It wasn't verified by the Guinness Book of Records, but this year it will. He's doing it at the Uber track. Smoking Jim, I'll be there again. You got to come down to Hazelwood, come out to the Uber track at the beginning, and I came back the next day to watch it. So we'll see if he can do it this year, but he'll be on the show. One of your sweeties, Rachel Rakovan, she's going to be on the show. She was supposed to be on a couple months ago, and she lost running for one of these contests, and she didn't feel like it, but now she's back into it, and she'll be on the show. So we have her coming out. We have Matt, the ring announcer, Antonucci, does great ring announcing, and he's going to be on the show. He's happy to do it. Diane Underwood, that has Reverse Aging Energy Spa, where I go once or twice a week. Got the sauna there. She still wants you to come to the sauna. She'll heal you up. You'll get healed from whatever happened to you. But I go there each time. I get more compliments on how I look being this old, so I'm a big fan of that. And she helps athletes. She's had Steelers and other people in there using their saunas. I'm up to 45 minutes on my sauna. I get a good sweat. So it helps make me look tan all year, believe it or not. So, but she'll be there, and maybe even another guest or two. But we should have a fun time with that. Then last but not least, we got a show at the VFW in Millvale. We did the first Golden Gloves boxing there, and Jose Carabella wanted us to do a series of 3 shows. So our first show is going to be June 17th, 7:30 to 8:30, North Avenue in Millvale. Smoking Jim found that he walked 3 blocks to get there for the fights. You can come on out. They're going to have food and drinks, and they're just nice people at the Millvale VFW there. It's been around for over 100 years, so it's a historic place. They got a ring where Ezra Charles was fighting in it, and a lot of great fighters fought in this ring. They're putting that up for us. We're going to do the show inside the ring. So what a look that'll be. That's a coming attraction, June 17th, and that's 7:30 to 8:30. Then we got boxing this weekend. We're going to be at the old Langley High School. That's the middle school. We're going to be doing boxing. and that'll be at 6 o'clock, Smoking Jim. Let me emphasize that, 6 p.m., Smoking Jim Frazier. Steve Fisher and I will be there at 5 o'clock setting the cameras up and sound check, but we'll be there at 5. It'll start at 6, guaranteed, because we'll tell a little bit about our boxing trip when we get to that segment, but you'll find out more. And then we have boxing there this weekend, and then on the 22nd, we'll be back at the VFW announcing boxing. So we got 2 boxing shows this month on location, so stay tuned. You never know if we'll be back at Steel Cactus. We put the word out that we'd like it there. Like I said, the crowd was great. They enjoyed the food and the sports talk. I ended up staying till 10:30 last night talking to people that came out to see us, and they had a great time. So that's what I have for you, and we'll be back with some Bucko talk.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Let's live at the beach.
Let's golf every day.
How about a trip?
Season baseball tickets?
Sounds like you're planning for retirement.
Hey, Savings Man.
Are you saving enough?
We are, thanks to the easy ballpark estimate worksheet at choosetosave.org.
Hope you're saving for health insurance.
Absolutely, because health insurance is important. Thanks, Savings Man.
No, thank you.
So visit choosetosave.org and get your ballpark estimate today.
Hey, it's Christine from Bethel Park Library. I want to tell you about a great fundraiser we have going on. You can take home a print of this cute sloth, painted by local artist Maria Prasic, was inspired by Vivian, the sloth that lives at the National Aviary. The original painting will be housed at the Bethel Park Library forevermore, but you can own a 16 by 20 print for $50. You can purchase it at the Bethel Park Public Library or through the library's website at bethelparklibrary.org.
All right, we've got some Bucko talk. There are a couple games under 500, but for them to even be 2 games under 500 with all the injuries, it's unbelievable. Smoking Jim's been betting they don't win that more than 78 games, so you won't hear a word out of him. He's happy. He's happy with the injuries, but some of their players have been playing good. Newman's been hitting the heck out of the ball. Reynolds has come up and he's been hitting like crazy in field, not in left field. We don't even need Corey Dickerson. They might get rid of him. Who knows? How would that be? And then Tucker hasn't been playing that well lately. He's nice out in the field, and he got a nice head of hair. But you got to hit that ball. When you're hitting around 170, that's not too good. That Mendoza line's at 200. If you're below that, it's a struggle. Smoking Jim at least found out what Mendoza was capable of, not hitting 200. But no, I'm optimistic with the Bucks. If they can keep it close, Tyon will come back. Trevor Williams will be back. That would help. Archer pitched a good game this past week, so that's rare. We hoped he'd remain as an all-star, but he's sucked here. He hasn't done well at all. So those things happen. It's a gamble when you get new players, old players, young players, whatever. And Smoking Jim thinks anybody can play first base, but
Anybody.
Josh Bell's playing the heck out of that. I don't care if he makes errors. Just keep hitting the cover off the ball. I mean, I like seeing him score these runs and hitting these home runs. It's exciting. And Polanco's arm's still not in shape. He came back a little early, and I don't know about that. They should have maybe waited because that arm of his is a little bit weak. They're running on him. Anytime somebody hits the ball to the outfield, they're going to second base.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're like you when you were fast and young. You just keep running. Catch me if you can. But that's what happens. Hey, I'd like to talk some boxing with you.
Hey, before we do that, if somebody would have asked me at the beginning of the season
Yeah.
if the if the Pirates would only be at this point in time
Yeah.
2 games under 500,
Yeah.
and would I be surprised? And I'd say, well, no, because last year they were 26-17 before they collapsed.
Yeah.
But let me one quick question.
Good point, Smoking Jim.
One quick
Great
question.
point.
While we're talking about the Pirate collapse, do you think all the injuries are the direct result of the curse?
No. No. Because obviously, Ray Searage being the resurrection king of pitchers, something's wrong with what they're doing with their pitchers. How do you have so many injuries with your pitching crew? Think about that. Why are they all suffering? There ain't no curse here.
Sound like a curse to me.
Who would have cursed them? It's like your Rooney curse. It was because of old man Rooney. He had 30-some years of almost 40 years of problems. He kept hiring these drunks to run the team. You're going to have problems if you do that. Pirates are at least trying. You know, we'll see what happens there. They just had the draft, had the 18th pick. I don't even follow the baseball draft because it's such a long shot with guys making it. You know, it's just crazy. But let's talk some boxing. We
Yes,
had some
sir.
fun at that Moundsville Penitentiary, didn't we? We got a little late start because somehow Smoking Jim was in traffic. It was on Saturday. I told him pick me up at 4. About 4 o'clock, he goes, "I'll be a little late." I said, "Okay," because that's what I expect. You know, after all, he's driving with sunglasses. Who the heck knows what's going on? But we had a better trip. His driving skills improved.
Yay!
Last time, just share this little story. The sun was shining, and he goes, "Hey, Machine, have you ever seen the sun shine like this?" I go, "Yes." He goes, "Well, I'm having trouble seeing." I didn't know he had glaucoma and couldn't see anyhow. And then he goes, "I don't have my sunglasses." He goes, "Do you?" I go, "No, I didn't bring them. I'm riding shotgun here." And so we're getting on 79, and he's weaving and he's getting up there, and I go, "Man, just pull over." He goes, No, I'll be all right." Cars are whistling by us. This time we went up, same exit we got on. He was perfect. He had the sunglasses going, a little bit of sun. I go, "Have you ever seen the sun like this?" He goes, "No, I got my sunglasses on." And we had a safe 1.5-hour trip to Moundsville. Somehow we made it there. They welcomed us with open arms, gave us food, nice buffet.
Announces to the crowd.
Yeah, they even come up. We never had this happen. The ring announcer came out, started talking to us and telling the crowd who we were.
That was great.
We just thought he's coming over to say hi.
It worked out for him because now he'll make a TV appearance with us.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to get on the show, so after an announcement like that, how could I not bring him on? He loves us guys and said he'll be happy to be on the show. So, no, but what a night of fights. Saw some great knockouts. JT Brackett, we thought he was done boxing at the Priory with his performances
I knew
there.
he wasn't done.
Smoking Jim was in his corner. He said it all the time. He can't quit. It's in your blood, he said. I go, his blood's everywhere right now. But he kept fighting. He knocked his guy out in like about 40 seconds of the first round.
Yeah,
He just swarmed him.
yeah.
He was throwing so many punches, I couldn't count them. But, yeah, we saw some great fights.
Maybe next fight he'll go for Skeets' record, 13 seconds.
Nah, that's not happening.
That
He
ain't gonna
can't
happen.
touch that. He can't touch that. It'll be MC Hammer on that. That won't happen. Then Matt Conway put on a great performance.
Yeah, he did.
Would he get a TKO in the second round?
Yeah.
Yeah, he throws some nice punches.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised it wasn't the main event, but they had a title fight for the main event.
Yeah, a former guest was on our show, Eric Bledsoe, won the championship,
Yeah.
ABF.
Yeah, he remembered me.
Yeah, he knew me.
Yeah.
He knew that right
But
away.
all y'all don't look alike.
Well, I don't know. You do. You say we all look alike. You think all 3 of us in the studio today look alike. Who you kidding? No, but they talked about having fights in September. We'll have another road trip there, and it's going to be MMA.
I've been keeping in touch with, we're friends now on Facebook with the lady that has the belt, Claire.
Claire.
You know, the Brothers Leather Blogs.
Yeah, I know. She even remembered who you were. I was shocked by that. You're in rare form, Smoking Jim. But it was a fun night. A lot of great people we saw there. Mike Murray's one of our favorites, the matchmaker. You had his shirt on. You were publicizing that.
Yeah, I sure did.
First MMA fighter, 1980.
Yeah. Who won that fight?
Davy Jones.
Okay, I wasn't sure who.
Murray
I
lost.
never knew who lost. I watched the
He
special.
tells people.
And I supposed to
He
watch the
tells
special
people.
on Showtime.
You must have fell asleep, Smoking Jim. He tells people he lost.
Really?
Yeah, you must have missed that chapter.
That was a good.
It was in the book too.
I didn't read the book, but I watched.
Son of a gun!
I
I
watched
tried
the
to get you to
special.
read it.
I think I got the book too. I think
You still have it.
Dan Bogan gave me the book.
Yeah, you're supposed to give it back.
Was I?
Yeah, that's not a keeper.
I can't find it. I got.
My man, you got to dig
I
deep.
got to dig deep, man.
It's not in the sweetie room or the other sweetie room. It's in another room. You got too many rooms for sweeties. You even added another one last night. Unbelievable. What a fun night. Any Steeler talk you can share with us?
Yeah, you know, I tell you what, I'm real high on the Cleveland Browns next year, talent-wise.
Still, I heard that yesterday.
Yeah, but the thing is, what the Browns people don't realize is Cleveland Browns against winning teams last year was 1-6-1. Of course, the 1 on the end was against the Steelers, who had a winning record. So, and Cleveland got a tough schedule there, so they may take a step back, but I look for them to take a step forward. But the Pittsburgh Steelers, in breaking news, hired a knucklehead to be their defensive back intern coach.
No, who's that?
William Gay.
No way.
So
He was
you-
legendary
You
here.
lose Joey Porter. Remember Joey Porter and William Gay went on the knees and chest bump. So now you gotta. They just can't seem to. They just can't seem to hire anybody that's serious about coaching.
Well, he's legendary. They always said pass caught in front of Gay.
Yeah.
That's all I ever heard. Another pass caught in front of Gay.
I always said he should work with the wide receivers because they've always had success against him, so he
Yeah.
can teach them what to do.
Yeah, he'd just stand there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll inspire a couple guys.
But again, the one of the surprises at training camp is
Spit it
Sutton.
out.
Is Sutton, the white guy.
Yeah.
And like I said, if he's not on steroids, and the Steelers are already messing with him, you know what I mean? You have this reverse discrimination that's going along.
Sure.
If the guy was black, if Sutton was black, he'd have been a first-round draft choice. He led the country in sacks 2 years in a row. He came out after his junior year. He probably would have won every award in the country if he'd have stayed for his senior year. Tackles for losses. The guy's a beast. What does the Steelers do? You need a right outside linebacker. He can run. He can do everything a black player can do.
Yeah.
Right? What does the Steelers do?
I don't know.
They get a steal in the 6th round. They get this kid.
Yeah.
The first thing they do, they want him to learn fullback. Are you nuts? You got Dupree that can't find the
Boy,
quarterback.
who's even using a fullback?
Yeah, who's even losing the quarterback? I mean, do they know what they're doing? You know what I mean? He's going to play on all his special teams. Hopefully you hang in there. If he's not on steroids, if he's not great for the Steelers, he'll be great somewhere else. The guy can play. Why would you have him playing fullback?
I don't know.
Now they want to move him maybe middle linebacker. Learn that. Let him play outside linebacker. The guy's a beast.
Wow.
But that's what you get.
Give him some input. Put some
yeah,
input
That's
there,
what you
buddy.
get with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You need pass rushers. You got a pass rusher, but he's white, so you say, hey, let's try you a fullback. Fullback? He ain't played offense since he's in high school.
Wow. Maybe they saw film on it.
He's the best defensive player in the country. And then you got this other one that's running around here wearing 55. One of the most unimportant positions in 3-4 defense as your middle linebacker. They gave up way too much. I didn't want to get into a big debate with the judge because I know he knows sports, but he's high on the Steelers draft. He thought that was a good move.
He loved it. He didn't give it a D- like you.
No second-round pick. You gave up way too much to move up. Now, next year, we lose a third-round pick because you got a middle linebacker, which is the 5th most important position in the 3-4 defense. Number 1 position they still don't have is a right outside linebacker.
Right.
Number 2 is a left outside linebacker. You got T.J. Watt there, the best linebacker in Steelers history, in my opinion. Number 3 position is strong safety. And number 4 position is a nose guard. And they still don't got a true nose guard.
We need Casey Hampton.
Yeah, we need a Casey Hampton type. And now you're running around moving up for a middle linebacker. You don't even need a middle linebacker in a 3-4 defense. Most times you take him out. Now you got a 3.
Who's the defensive coach there?
Well, they got rid of Dick LeBeau and everything fell apart. When Coach Tomlin got the big hit, he wanted more credit. So he got rid of Bruce Arians and he got rid of Dick LeBeau and he got rid of Santonio Holmes. They backstabbed him. Santonio Holmes
he was
put the
shaking
curse.
and baking too much.
He put the curse.
No, he shaked and baked.
Every player in the NFL
yeah, but he was
shakes and
bragging
bakes.
about it.
On Twitter.
Yeah.
Social media.
Yeah, he was bragging.
We have the President of the United States to get on social media and Twitter.
Who is it?
That ain't got nothing to do with anything. That's private stuff. Oh, he's bashing the fans on social media. Now you got a wide receiver that's on social media going to the prom. Juju.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Going to their underage. Keep away from the underage.
You
girls.
were doing that.
You know something, Joe
You were
Louis?
doing that.
Here's,
You were.
Here's a little black history. And Steve Fisher taught me a lot of black history yesterday, and you're always teaching me black history.
Okay.
Joe Louis never would take a picture with a white woman because that was unheard of back in those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a lot of people mad.
Yeah.
So now you got Juju going to the prom with 13 and 14-year-olds. Or are they older than that? Maybe 15, 16.
I didn't even know it. I'm not following them.
Would you want Juju going to the prom with your daughter when
No.
she was, see? She would have been probably more mature than Juju when she was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the things you get.
Smoking Jim, you're bringing up valid points.
Yeah.
But in the whole scheme of football,
I
I
didn't
don't
even
know
know
what it
Chartiers
means.
Valley had a high school. Is that where he went, or Chartiers Houston? Chartiers Valley?
They
is that
both
a high school?
have it.
Which
Yeah.
one did he go to the prom?
Both of them have high schools.
I never heard of
I
them
never
schools.
saw what he's doing.
See?
I didn't pay
Velvet.
attention.
Who wears crushed velvet tuxedos
I did
anymore?
back in the
Yeah,
70s.
yeah, that's what I mean. This is the kind
I had
of
a
thing.
nice black velvet jacket.
But you're getting rid of a guy who's Super Bowl MVP because he likes to smoke a blunt here and there.
No,
They
no.
all smoke a blunt.
It was a good thing we got him because who'd he play for next?
But he was good here.
No, who'd
He
he
was
play
Hall
for?
of Famer here.
What did he do after that?
Well, I know who's going to do good.
Who?
The Raider guy,
Who?
Antonio Brown.
Well, he's a
gonna
hard
tear-
worker.
he's gonna
He
tear
wanted to get out of here, and he did everything he could in the world to get out of here, and it worked.
He got thrown off Dancing with the Stars because he wanted to sleep with all the girls.
Yeah.
And you're moving him to Vegas? Oh my goodness!
Not
Man,
till
they-
next year.
They got to give him a little saltpeter. Ain't
Not
that
till-
what they used to give us in training
Yeah,
camp, bro?
that's
you
what
got
they gave
you
me.
got to cool him off, brother. Where can you get? Remember you said you used to feed your horse. You want this
Apples.
apple or that apple?
Yeah.
They got to find a way to calm Antonio Brown down. He got too many kids.
Yeah, he
and now
does.
he's going to Vegas.
So what will stop him? He'll be all right.
Saltpeter.
They're professionals there. They'll take care of him. They're pros.
Oh,
they
man,
can
keep
handle
him
him.
out the bunny ranch, right?
They can help him. That's what they do. Yeah. He won't have any more babies. He'll be fine. Smoking, Jim. You're giving another side of this.
Hey, congratulations to Terrell Pryor. He just signed with Jacksonville Jaguars.
I heard
wide
that.
Receiver.
Yeah.
So
That's your man. There's
happy
hope for him.
Happy for him.
Yeah.
Not many good things happened to him since he got kicked off the team and banned it from Ohio State for 5 years.
Yeah.
Before his senior year, he'd have won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, he was on pace for it.
Could have been an All-American, could have been a Hall of Fame quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah, we have to do it in the NFL. It's not happening.
I think he would have.
Well, you never know.
Yeah. He's still in the record books. Longest touchdown run by a quarterback in NFL history, 93 yards against the Steelers.
That's not bad.
Still see Troy Polamalu, who's very fast, still trying to chase him down.
Yeah, it happens.
Well,
yeah.
you know it. Troy was out of TV range. That Terrell fast once he opens up.
Yeah,
though.
he got in the open field. He was
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So
We've covered a lot here for you tonight. I don't know what Smoking Jim will go to next. Who knows what's next in your tablet there? What else do you got?
I got a red tablet, brother.
I know.
My academics.
You're the only one I know with about 18 degrees and nobody ever saw you.
That's it.
No witnesses. Keep posting those nice pictures from the late 70s or wherever it's from.
I can't wait to put up Ashley. What a beautiful girl.
Really?
What a beautiful. Nice. How you get that nice? It must have come from a good family.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. Everybody that came with the judge were nice.
Judge did well.
Yeah.
Brought a nice crowd. We
Judge
even
is
had
a-
the mayor.
Judge is
Mayor,
a- yeah.
Mayor Jack Allen was there.
He from Dairy Queen?
That's the Bethel Park Dairy Queen owner.
I love it. I love it.
We'll have to go some night.
I want to get that thing you had.
Dreamsicle.
I want to get that.
It's delicious.
Next time I come through, I'll call you. We'll
All
meet
right.
up there.
I'll wait for you.
I tip good too with them.
Do you?
Yeah, I tip good.
You're a good tipper. Wow. Who knows what we'll find out
I like
next
that
about
vanilla co. Sure, that's my favorite. Is it yours?
It's up there. I'm a fan of it. Yeah.
Let me ask you one thing. What's your favorite thing to get from Bethel Bakery?
Bethel Bakery.
What's your
I get their
favorite?
cakes for birthdays. Like I have a birthday June 30th. I get a
This
Bethel
year. Okay.
a Bethel Bakery cake.
Now, what kind you like?
I like the white.
Me too.
Yeah, I like that white. White batter's good. I like a little icing and some roses on the outside. Hey, folks, go to Bethel Bakery. We got to end this show. Stay Joey strong.